We're ready. Let's do it.
We're in. We've started.
Good.
All right.
How are we, Alex? You good? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Sound. Yourself?
All good, man.
It always makes me want to go home when I hear another northern accent. I'm like, you know what? That's it. I'm getting on a fucking plane and window shopping on Sky.
You don't. You're sick of it, mate. You're sick of it. It's just, the weather's gone now, so there you go.
Fuck the weather, mate. Like, it's too hot here.
The weather's important. The weather's, especially for me.
Yeah, but I'm as white as a piece of paper. I blend in with the snow.
I'm brown, mate. I need the sun. You know what I mean?
I can lay out in the sun all summer and I'll never be brown.
I think that's, you know what? Some of it is down to diet, believe it or not.
Wow.
No one talks about that, but I have known people that have had that issue and they've changed diet. So I think literally taking on more, like more of a plant-based, more vegetable diet actually helps for your skin, apparently.
Okay,
so you can actually soak up the sun. I don't know the research behind it, so.
No, I've never heard of that before. Right, I've had this question, right, and
Go for it.
I heard it like 2-3 weeks ago, and it's actually been racking my brains. What is the greatest piece of life advice you've ever received?
Ooh, that's tough, mate. That's tough.
It's hard, isn't it?
Is that overall, general, whatever? Just something that you took away from what someone said?
Whatever.
Right, so this will probably be my number one and probably always will be, especially my sport as well. So my coach, Cyril Martin, who's been coaching me for around 6 years, when I first, I don't know if anyone knows, I'm a GB weightlifter. When I first, when I was coming up, one of my competitions, I did really bad at, I bombed basically. I don't know if anyone understands that. But if you don't understand that, basically it means that you don't register a total. You get three strikes, if that makes sense, right? On a particular, let's say, lift, which was a clean jerk at the time. And I was a young lad really, and proper you can't let that sort of stuff mess with you. And obviously it's my first experience with it, so I've never had experiences. You're coming back into the, you're very upset. You're coming back into the gym. You're trying to get yourself, moving again and building yourself back up again. You know what I mean? You lose your confidence, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So my coach said to me, he just looked at me and said, don't forget who you are. Do you know what I mean? Because you know your potential. He didn't even say that. He knew what was going on in my head. Yeah, he basically said, don't forget who you are. That's it, really. That's all it took.
It's massive, because that can be applied to everything, right?
Exactly, but you know what I mean? Going through whatever's, problems you have in life and character altering issues even.
Yep.
It depends on the adversity, do you know what I mean? But it just stuck with me, really. And
don't
it
forget who you are.
Yeah, I've not forgot it. 6 years later, it still applies to certain things. Yeah,
that's a good one, mate.
So, yeah.
What about the worst? What's the worst piece of life advice you've ever received?
Oh, I don't know, mate. That's impossible. That's even worse. That's hard to say.
There's a lot more of them.
I don't have a worst. But my own life advice that I created. That's a good one. Is don't listen to people that are unhappy. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people they've got the answer, and they're unhappy as fuck. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, don't listen to people. They could have all the money in the world, and if they're unhappy, why bother listening to them? That's my advice. You know what I mean? If anyone's young, if anyone's young, listen to this, and you got older people telling you, advising you on what to do with your life. Just make sure that they're not unhappy and full of bullshit.
So what is happiness to you?
Just fulfilling what you set out. You know, you set out some goals. You might have some goals in your life, and you know, you're trying to achieve them. So for me, it's, you know, get as far as I can with weightlifting, get as far as I can, and you have to be very I'm gonna say singular, but you have to be very. It takes up a big portion of your life to be good at something.
Yeah.
You know, people. You know, you often find people when they do something, they think they start becoming, what's the word, that they feel as though they're a prisoner of the thing that they're trying to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, I have to go to training today, or it's every day, or you know what I mean? Like, it's a bad thing, but it's not really. It's a good thing because you're in a position where you're actually training. You're able to train. There's a lot of people that can't do the things that you're doing. You know, if you've spent a lot of time and you've worked hard to do certain things in you know, maybe you have a talent, maybe you have something that you're really good at, but other people can't do it. You know, so you can't take it for granted. You know, obviously have a balance in your life. Still need to enjoy your life, but you know, just because you're not outside playing or, you know, going out every night, it doesn't mean you're wasting your time, you know, constructively in, you know, towards what you want.
How did you get started on the weightlifting journey then, lad?
I watched on TV probably like 2012, 2013, 12, I think. And I was obviously, I'm still skinny. I'll put it that way. You know what I mean? My body type is pretty, you know, it's not a built up person. So it just, like, from there, like, basically I saw that there were weight classes. So, you know, as soon as I watched it, I was like, right, I can do this. Do you know what I mean? I already knew my attributes at the time. At that age, I already knew. I was like 19 at the time. And I kind of knew what I knew. I think I was 18 or 19. I kind of knew what I was physically good at. Do you know what I mean? I was very fast twitch. I was very fast. Had some good flexibility. Moved well. Do you know what I mean? Like, as coordination as a child. So I was like, yeah, I'll go for it and actually try and learn. And it took years and years of technique work, and never easy, I tell you, never easy. But it was fun though. It was very fun, especially, like, you know, it's not just you that you're on that journey. There's other people on that same journey as well. So if you're doing it together, it's even more enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? So if you're doing it alongside them, it's the best thing.
Yeah, and I found the confidence you gain from weightlifting is like, you can't really replicate it in other things. Like, it's so crazy throwing that bar above your head.
Yeah, but you know, I think that comes from I feel like it could come from any sport, really, in a sense. You know, you're trying to master a skill. That's any sport that requires, you know, a large amount of skill and time. I think that comes from anything. You know, you should gain confidence from the things that you're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Did you play any other sports?
Huh?
Did you play any other sports?
Not super competitively. When I was younger, I did a bit of gymnastics when I was in school. Like probably junior school, you know, very young. And then I did some athletics in secondary school. Yeah, that was about it, really. I knew I was pretty quick. Yeah, I knew I was very athletic anyway, but it was just I found that in England, like, there's no avenue to get into. Like, you have to, you know, there's no school won't push you into a sport. That's the issue with our country, I think. This is why we don't produce we don't produce mad athletes all the time. And, you know, it's just like these other countries that can produce them, like, anytime. You know, we don't have an avenue. Like, our parents have to take us somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
what if but what if your parents don't back it? Then what? Then you're fucked, aren't you?
Yep. They have the development process, right? They already have the infrastructure already created. So you kind of go through stage A, then you go stage B, stage C. But back home, it's kind of like, figure out. If you're not playing football on the street, go fucking figure it out.
That's it, man. But they should have, like, in schools, they should have some talent ID for a sport,
Mm.
even at an early age or something. Multiple sports. You don't have to be serious about it at that age, obviously, but it does help. Just to try something. But yeah, it's completely free for all. If I'm honest with you.
Yeah, even
Some
the
people.
peculiar sports too, right? Like fucking bring in lacrosse or something. You know what I mean? Rather than
People get into that at uni.
uni, yeah. Did you go to
That's
uni?
it. Like, I did, but I did it so that I didn't have to actually go in. If that makes sense. Most of it was I could just do it through a college, so I didn't have to go in because at that time I was like 20, about 22, 23. I was like still using my time up for the gym to train, to get better at training, to get better at my sport. That was my plan. I was like, right, I can do it this way and just not worry about going in. You know what I mean? Not worrying about my attendance or anything, just getting to the gym. Still being able to get a degree, which is in sports and exercise.
Do you use it?
So yeah. No.
Oh man. It makes you wonder, right? It makes you wonder why we created like the fucking ladder that you have to go to.
This is bullshit.
Have to go to uni and do this and tech on this and do whatever.
Oh yeah, it's I didn't use it. I've not used it, and I think it does show to the employer that you have studied at that level, the level 6 level, whatever it is. But other than that, it's pretty useless, in my opinion. And I don't regret it because it gave me the opportunity to actually train pretty much. Do you know what I mean? As much as I could without worrying about money or anything at that age, and that was perfect because those are good ages to learn and get better.
Yeah, 100%. So, if you were to go back in time, talk to your younger self, what 3 words would you tell
them? Buy Bitcoin now. Back to 2010, imagine.
Fucking hell. I saw something come up, like there was some new cryptocurrency, right? And if you put $1,000 in it, right, and waited a year, it was worth 74 million. That's
probably like hype. I don't think that's true.
Well, I don't really understand.
The chances are, it depends on the crypto, mate. Basically, that's it. But but if I was going back in time, 3 words. It's a tricky one, that, because I don't think I'd change anything. I wouldn't change anything, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? It's all the lessons I've received and the character I'm today is from the sport that I've done. Would I have done that? Imagine if I did that. If, let's say, if I went a different direction at 17 onwards and I had it easy, and life was easy, would I be the same person now? Probably not. So I'd rather not, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather not change anything.
Yeah, like was it Dave Spitz that says weightlifting is not character building, it's character revealing.
Character revealing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd assume every sport is, isn't it? Really, it's about how strong your will is, I guess. To want something.
Trying to do something.
You're competing against the best in the country and whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to do something at the highest level. Like you're going to be able to uncover parts of yourself that you've never really met before, right?
That's it. How you handle losses, how you handle wins. Who you trust in your circle. Things like that. It goes on, mate. It goes on. In sport, it just goes on. Really, there's a lot of idiots out there.
Yeah,
it's like honestly, it's like workplace. Really, sport is the community of a sport, of a specific sport. Is literally like workplace. It's just always hearsay and shit. You know what I mean? That's how it is. I think that's general humans, just like talking shit. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
man.
So
There's always someone that's talking
they're
shit.
bored as fuck. They're so bored with their lives. They need to talk some bullshit.
Yeah.
That's how it is. That's just how it is. But yeah.
So what's next? When are you back on the platform?
So I've got a little competition in 3 weeks' time. And basically I just need to improve my total. And then I've got the British end of January next year, 2022. And hopefully to put an actual good total in to qualify for the Commonwealth Games
Wow.
in Birmingham. So that's the main goal, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's it really. I mean, it's just about. I mean, for that British, I'll probably be fully flat out, and there'll be nothing getting in the way in terms of getting in the way of training or anything like that. So yeah,
Commonwealth Games, man.
it's tough, mate. It's tough. Like qualification's never easy. Like the last British that I just did, I bombed that basically. And we don't get that many chances to qualify for the Commonwealth Games, if that makes sense, to register a real total in a big competition. You need to register in a big competition like the British or an international. So the British probably will be the last chance. My only chance, in a sense, to actually put a ranking in, which I look forward to. I like being under pressure. So yeah.
What's your total right now?
Going off PBs, 265. Going off PBs, total 265 kilos at 67 body weight.
67. Fuck.
But
And what's that split?
The 120, 145 is my best in training. Yeah, training. In competition at 67, I've done 117, 142. But I'm looking to, between 265, 270, I'm aiming for.
Wow.
Probably at the British, really. That's what I'm after.
What is the euphoric fucking qualifying total?
There's no number as long as you're showing improvement. Probably 270 onwards, I'd have thought. But again, the Commonwealth Games are in like August, I guess, July, August. So, you've got 6 months after the British. So who's to say you're not going to improve? Do you know what I mean? Let's say I hit I don't know, 265 at the British. Well, you've got 5 kilos from then till, June, July, August. So, or even more, 10 kilos. So, who's to say you aren't going to improve? So, yeah, you just got to show that improvement and show that you're developing. That's the most important thing.
For sure. Commonwealth Games, man.
Big, man. It's a big deal, to be honest. As a man, I think in this country, it's a big deal. This is the closest thing you'll get to a Olympic Games, Olympic style of, if that makes sense, Olympic style. But it's tough for a man to qualify for the Olympic Games, just because it's not as fair as it is in the Commonwealth Games. Even Commonwealth Games is not as clean as it once was, but it still is bad.
That's spark though, right?
It's better than the Olympic in terms of it's more fair than the Olympic Games. But this Olympic Games, I just went, we didn't qualify any man. And if you look at the females, we qualified 4 females. So what does that tell you? Either our men are complete dog shit, or that the men's team is very, very competitive, and it's almost, unfair advantage.
Yeah, man, this is the thing, right? Like if you look at it from a spectator point of view, what do you want to go do? You want to watch someone that's been like, okay, yeah, that's kind of like realistic. Someone could train for that within 10, 15 years, right? Or do you want to walk up and see some absolute freak show and be like, okay, I'm going to use this as entertainment? However, like I've fucking played spot, man. I know this game, and you're like, that's not fair. We're all playing by different rules here. And it's funny though, man, because I played rugby, right? I was a swimmer back in the day, and then I played ruggers. And if you'd have come to me, right, if you'd have literally sat me down and be like, Alex, at 13 or whatever, I was like, I want you to take this, this, and this for 5 years, and you'll play in the Viva Premiership. I'd have signed on the dotted line. I wouldn't have asked any more questions, and I fucking shook your hand. It's
Changes your whole life, doesn't it? Really.
It does though. That's the thing, and I think because it's taboo, there's no conversation about it, right?
Yeah.
And if you're gonna do it, fine, but don't sign on that dotted line that's saying you don't do it, because then you're a fucking scumbag.
It's tricky, mate. To be honest with you, we're never gonna get away from it. There's drug cheats. They're always going to stay in the sport forever. Any sport, they'll still be here forever. They'll be for the end of time. They're here from the beginning, so they'll be here to the end of time. You know what I mean? So, but in terms of spectators, like, it's easy to say, oh, everyone wants to watch the big weights, but what is this? Define the competition. What is the word competition? Do you know what I mean? It's competitiveness. You want people to be close to each other, so that there's a competition. There's action. You could watch somebody at a low level, a really low level, a club level, 2 club level or 3 club level athletes going at it, and that's just as good competition to watch, spectator wise.
For sure.
And that's how you have to look at things. But people just completely overlook things like that. But competition is competition. It's no different to karting or F1. There's levels to it. There's you're still gonna get enjoyment out of it. It's not, I can go on in all sports really. So yeah.
I like that point, man. Like fucking human beings like to dabble in the extremes, right? It's like, no, I'm not watching it unless I'm seeing gold medals. You're like, no, you can fucking be entertained, like you said, watching an amateur meet. We did an amateur powerlifting meet, right? At the gym, just like sign up, do whatever you want, don't have to wear anything in particular, just fucking put your weights up, we'll set it up for you, and everything's honky-dory, right? And they get to use the proper gear too, so it was a pretty cool experience for some people. And like you get people, like you get some ladies benching like 30 kilos, right? So it was like hardly anything on the barbell, but at the same time you're like, okay, this is really cool. And it was super entertaining watching people like jump in and out and getting super buzzed from it. So I understand that point.
Yeah, that's the idea of people pushing themselves. I think that's the most important thing, in sports. I think people, I won't say people, but I think some people shy away from big challenges to overcome. There's always something to overcome in everyone's life. And I think that's sports kind of brings that out of you. Like, it puts you up against the wall. At some point or another, everyone's going to feel it. You're going to be up against the wall, and you're going to have to do something special or something just to pull yourself back out, We
all relate to that struggle, right?
Yeah, but it carries over for everything. Do you know what I mean? Sport sort of gives you that skill to handle everything else, I guess.
It's modern day gladiators, mate.
Yeah, that's literally it. To be honest, it is nuts. But it's the extreme. I think it's also the extreme. Like, are you going to, like, when you compete and you win or you lose? Are you going to feel that in normal day life? That feeling. Ask yourself. Other than, okay, a tragedy like someone dying, fair enough, but what's the opposite of that? You know what I mean? Where's what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Well, how are you gonna feel that? You put, I don't know where you'd get that. I don't know where you get that from. Where would you get that buzz from, or where do you get that feeling from?
Well, that's why people start turning to fucking substances, right?
Yeah. Probably after sports. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
After sport. Yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like that. Fuck me.
Or they can't leave the sport. That's another problem. they stay in it. So
Did you
it's
watch
a
the
tricky
Fury
one.
fight?
Yeah, I did. I'm a big fan of Fury. Absolute big fan of Fury. Here's another thing what people don't like. What people seem to ignore. It's one thing for him to do it once, to beat him once. There's another thing for him to do it 3 times.
Mm.
I mean, that's how great he is. So he is probably he is our generation. He's our generation Muhammad Ali, in my opinion.
I think
Not to that in terms of level. Obviously, he's untouchable. He's always
yeah,
untouchable. But he's our level. He's our generation. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's what
I'd
I'm trying to
agree
say.
because he came out like obviously he had 2 years right where he was like suicidal every day and drinking and drugging and all that bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Be able to turn it round, is now heavyweight champion of the world again, and prove to people that no matter what sort of dark cave you get yourself into or other people get you into, you're able to pull yourself out of it. I think that's taken him to another level.
He never used to get the credit as well, before that. He never got the adulation, got nothing when he won the first title, 2015 was it, I think, against Klitschko. He never got nothing. He got absolutely nothing for it. He won it and that was it. Like, and he was a British boy and he never got nothing. The media was against him at the time. People didn't care. People didn't even know, I don't think. And he had to go through what he went through to actually, when he told his story, and that's when people started to relate and actually see, the guy's actually an amazing, but an amazing boxer. I know mutual friends that have met him, and they met him on regular occasion. They're boxers, and they said he's a nice guy in person as well. Not it's not an act. The thing that he does, when he talks about his problems, and that, it's not an act at all. So, yeah, he's a genuine person. So, I think everyone can relate to that.
Yeah, and I think people like, especially now, need just a little bit more honesty, right? With the whole fucking, create this persona or character or whatever, and for other people to like you, it doesn't make any sense to me.
The whole depression thing is a bit mad, to be honest. It's on the rise for men, anyway.
Yeah, man, it's the biggest fucking killer under the age of 45 in the world, mate.
It's the highest level in men, isn't it? Is that correct?
Yeah, man.
But what do we know why?
I mean,
do we have any idea why?
Is there any definitive answer? Like, there's a lot of contributing factors in there, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just, it could be anything. It could be lifestyle, it could be relationships, it could be all sorts, really. So,
I mean, just think back to how we grew up, right? How many times do you hear the phrase "fucking man up" or "just deal with it, get on with it"? Any of those along the same lines? Like it was all the time.
I think it's tricky, as a man, you're there's a balance, right? There's a balance.
Agree.
There's a balance. Like, you're taught to be stoic. If by nature, a man by nature is stoic. They have they show no emotion, almost. Does that make sense? Or they're taught to show no emotion. It's so tricky because I think possibly being afraid of taking advantage of or whatever, or insecurities, or it's a weird thing. But it's fine. It's just a natural thing, I think, people to hide, especially men, to hide the feelings. It's a strange one, really. Very strange. But you've just got to. This is what I say. Be yourself at the end of the day. You know what I mean? If you can't be yourself, there's no point. Have the right people around you, so that you can express yourself truly. That's what matters, really. And everyone else, it doesn't really matter. Everyone's going to die eventually. Right? Well, not even that. Everyone's going to die eventually. So, You're gonna care when you're dead, or you're gonna care when they're dead. Do you know what I mean? So who cares? Like, just do what you want to do.
How do you think you got the mindset of that? Like, do you think that's already been quite innate in you, or do you think it's been your parents? Do you think it's through the sport? Do you think it's just a fucking combination of everything?
Gradual. I think it was gradual process. You know, I think from the sport, and you will find athletes. This is how I think. You know, you will find athletes. I think good level athletes will be paranoid.
Mm.
You know, just for the fact that they keep the circle very small.
Mm.
Because they don't want to get involved with other people, new people. Because no one knows their intentions and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean you're saying you're a closed book. But you know, it's just you're focused on your own thing. You don't care what's happening there, or you know what someone said to you, or no one cares. You know what I mean? You focus on your own goals, and that's it really. I can't really explain it. Do you know what I mean? It just happens. You know, if you're tracing what you're tracing, then why does it matter what people think anyway? So possibly, yeah, from a sport, yeah, because probably I've got questioned before about why I'm doing a sport and things like that. You know, I'm doing a sport that doesn't pay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why am I wasting my time going training 6 days a week? So things like that, it's just incredible. I don't think they can't understand the value of doing something you love. They don't understand it. It doesn't comprehend in the mind. Like, why would you do that? Like, you know. But that's it, though, isn't it? It's just they don't live that life. You know what I mean? So. And they won't. Again, what I said about emotions and feelings, they don't get to feel those. What I said earlier about winning and losing, they don't get to experience that. They don't. Not really. Not in my opinion. You know. There's a lot of extremes that happen in sports as well, where let's say, and it probably the only thing other than that is probably drugs that would probably give you that feeling. But let's say you're confined to, let's say, I don't know. Let's say there's a level bar or something, right, of emotions, and high and low. So yeah, the higher you go, the more euphoric you're feeling. The lower you go, the more sad and horrible you feel, right? Well, let's say it's I don't know. There's a level, right? Well, sports goes beyond that, both sides, both ways. Do you know what I mean? It goes beyond the normal amount on both ways, both sides. So we feel it all. I think you will find a lot of athletes are very good athletes, are very nice and very kind, because they felt the lowest of the low and they felt the highest of the high in their own respect. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, I agree with
You'll find a lot of athletes very humble, even at the top level. Do you know what I mean? They've sort of understood it, because they've already felt what someone else has already felt, in a sense. Obviously, not in the same situation, but they understand what it's like, I guess.
No, I understand that. I understand that totally, and I would draw parallels to that in the sense of, to feel all those things is exactly what we're supposed to be doing, right? As a human, like if you just kind of cap yourself into that middle emotion of like melancholy, maybe, not sad, not happy, just this, I'm just kind of getting by state. What are you doing? Are you living? Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're kind of just coasting by.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something that you did, you went to New Zealand. You thought, done with this, I'm gonna go. Do you know what I mean? You want something different, you change it up a little bit. That's a good thing. You're taking challenges on. How many people will do that? Not a lot.
I feel like everyone tries to sedate themselves, you know what I mean, and just kind of cruise, and the next thing
it's comfort zone. It's comfort zone. Live in a box and just live with live where you are, and don't aim high, and that's it. You're happy with that, and settle down and crack on. That was never in my intentions, like just my mind. I always felt different to other people. I always want, I never felt a part of something or anything like that. I always wanted to do my own thing. I always like to be on my own as well. I'm not always sociable. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like, that makes sense. I like to be on my own.
Yeah, totally. There's a lot of power in that, man.
Well, you just do. How can you not enjoy the time on your own? It's bloody, it's great. You know what I mean? And if I am with my friends, I'm not with 5 friends. I'm with 1 friend. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like I don't interact with big groups or anything like that. So, yeah, that's it really. Yeah.
Beautiful, mate. I'm gonna have to jump off because I got the morning class, but I really, really appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, no problem. Good stuff. It was a good conversation,
mate. Keep me updated of what's going on with the next time you're on the platform, how British goes.
I will do, mate. I will do. I need to follow you on Instagram and find you.
I'll fucking message you somewhere. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, man. Please do. And hopefully we'll get another podcast in at some point as well.
Yeah, man. Totally. We'll aim for like after British.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be perfect, mate. That's perfect.
So you can fucking hone in, head down, focus on the bar.
I can explain the procedure.
Yeah. Because,
but yeah, it's all good.
To be honest, no one will have a clue how to get there.
Mate, I want to give a message out to everyone, right? Fucking do what you want to do and fuck everyone else. But that's all I'm gonna say.
I fucking love it. And honestly,
you know what I mean?
I just want to come home when I hear shit like that, mate. Like,
just have the balls to do something. Do you know what I mean? Have the balls to do something new. It's in your back of your mind. Most people, it's in the back of their mind. I need to do this. I need to do it. I'm not gonna do it though, because someone's gonna say something. No, just fucking do it, man. Don't matter. You're gonna, what if you die tomorrow? What are you gonna do then?
I fucking read something 2 days ago. Tomorrow is an idea.
Tomorrow is an idea. Or today's. They should finish it. Today's the action.
Today's the action. Boom. Brother, appreciate it.
Cool.
Whenever the fuck I'm at home, we'll grab a coffee and we'll throw a bar.
We'll do it, mate. We'll do it. Keep me updated.
Yeah, we'll do.
Have a good one, mate. Take care.
Too, brother. Take it easy.
Bye bye. Bye bye.